your girl V.
And it's your girl April Love.
And welcome to Love Unlocked Talk. I don't even know what episode this is.
Me either. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, hold up.
Who knows? You can look at on the YouTube page and see what episode this is, because I really don't know. But, you know, we took a week off, but now we back.
Yeah.
And this week, we're just going to get right into it. This week's topic is, are single women in danger because of Kevin Samuels? Like, is he fucking the game up for single women? Because now he has all these followers, male followers, who are praising him as if he is just God. And they are really, like, believing what he says is law. So they're applying it to their dating search. And the women are like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm scared for y'all. Other them, not you. You ain't single. My bad. But I'm scared for single women. I feel like this is detrimental.
I think, because she got me to watch a couple of episodes, and I'm like, he's laying a lot on there. Now, I haven't got in, I went into the comments to kind of see what, like, people were saying, and there were a lot of dudes that were, like, kind of, like, piggybacking on what he had said, and, like, oh, look, she couldn't deny this, or she didn't, and I'm like, oh, relax, like, calm down, real life. See, I don't know, because in today's world, you got a lot going on. I wouldn't say that women are in danger because of Kevin, because let's be real about it. Dudes be talking to anything
This
walking.
is facts. This is facts.
Anything walking. I saw something the other day. I was at a store and this dude, like, was flirting with this chick. And I'm not one to be like, somebody's ugly or whatever. That's not my thing. But she wasn't easy on the eyes, right? And she was cheating and this dude, he wasn't all of that either. He was like some whatever, but you could tell he thought highly of himself. He thought he looked good or whatever. And he flirted with her, and it's like, it's nothing to him. It's like, trying to see if she's gonna bite. And yeah, she was all smiles, you know, cheesing and carrying on. And my whole thing is, if she would have, you know, been like, yeah, what's up?
Right.
Now she got some attention. Now she didn't pull. Now, could she keep him? No.
See, that's the point. He's saying it's not about getting them, because we can get anybody. Mm-hmm. It's about them wanting to marry you. And he's the information that he's putting out, because I don't want to say the facts, because they're opinions. They're all opinions, because not every man in the world thinks like this. But because he's so fresh and new on the scene and he's male empowerment, he has a lot of men following his lead, which makes them start to think that way in their dating life. Like, oh, well, she's not this and she's not that. I'm not going to marry her, but I'll date her. I'll fuck her until I'm ready to find my wife, but she ain't it. Because Kevin Samuels said if she ain't this, feminine, friendly, whatever the hell he be saying, then she's not my wife. And that is what I mean by are women in danger.
I think he's bringing an old school approach to it, because my whole thing is, you know, when I look at today's society, it's like, are people really getting married as much as they were? Is that a top priority for people like it once was?
Right.
Like in his generation. So that's where I'd be like, okay, is everybody trying to get married now? Like, what's going on?
I think that
has set the standard for people. Like,
and I do. I think that is the ultimate goal for a lot of women. Like, if you ask them, like how Kevin asked them, they all say yes. I want to be married. I want this. I want this. So I think that it is the ultimate goal for a lot of women. Um, Maybe they all don't admit it, but a lot of them do want to be married. That's the ultimate goal. And Kevin is making it seem like it's the only goal. So it's like,
That's what
fuck
it
your
is.
career,
Yeah.
fuck your education,
Fuck your life, fuck your hobbies.
find your husband immediately. You're in the danger zone after you're 27 years old. So if you don't find him within that small time frames from high school to college, then you're in the danger zone, and therefore, good luck, because it's going to be really hard for you because they're not checking for you. You know, for the reasons that he lists, your geriatric pregnancy and just not being submissive or whatever. And I want to touch on the submissive part because I feel like a lot of people get submission or submissive woman misconstrued. How you say it?
Yeah.
We be airheads sometimes, y'all. Don't mind us.
Sound like
Y'all know what I mean. But no, I feel like a lot of people get it confused. For example, I am a submissive wife.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But it doesn't look like how people think it is. Like, for instance, my husband is not telling me what to do and I'm running to do it. That's not what submissive means. It means you take care of home. And that's just what you want to do. You do it because it's just part of being a wife. It's not, eating out every night. It's not, you make your own plate. It's doing things for your man, not only because it's part of being married, but because you want to. And that isn't ingrained in a lot of women, especially women today. Like, they're like,
I work too.
I'm tired too. Why can't you cook sometimes? And
make your own plate.
Make your own plate. Like, that's not me. That's just not how I was brought up. Like, I'm a different type of woman. Like, there's not a lot of women out there like me. So I understand the struggle on that end because it probably is really hard for them.
But see, I think this is where it kind of gets tricky in listening to Kevin, okay? You have to be a certain type of man to get those type of submissive women too, on the flip side of it, because if you ain't doing certain things, women are not going to want to submit to you in any type of way. So yes, if you have a good man and he's doing the things that are making you happy, that stuff is gonna come natural. Like, I want to please my man. I want to make sure he has a meal when he comes in. I want to make sure that his clothes are washed or whatever you do.
I don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Like, there are women that do that, and I think that's that super, super old school type of submissive wife.
I think it's just
there's just different
levels
to it.
Different levels, but I do think that comes with being happy.
Right.
And when you're happy, you naturally want to do things to make your partner happy. And that's where that kind of submissive thing comes from, because while you may not wash clothes, there are females that are like, my man don't gotta wash or fold his clothes or any of that. I'm gonna make sure he has these things because he does X, Y, and Z for me, and I want him to be good. So I think that's the tricky part in listening to him, because when you do listen to him, and I don't know all the backstory because I just watched a few videos, but I did hear he used to come at men before he came at women.
He did.
But
it wasn't working.
Yeah, but he blew up from coming at women, and these women keep calling and talking to him like they're
I don't get it.
But
they're really it's painful.
I'm not gonna let you disrespect. I'm not gonna call
for you to openly disrespect me in front of thousands, because his views be up. He be having like 14,000 people on a live. So I'm not about to hop on a live and feel like I have a point to make, and you're not allowing me to make my point, and you're just constantly shutting me down and asking your questions and not allowing me to answer. The issue with his point of view and men listening to Kevin, and why I feel like women are in danger because of him, because I swear, these guys there was none of this talk before Kevin came on the scene. So I feel like it's really dangerous. I feel that way because now it's almost like he's telling men, you don't have to try. You don't have to do anything.
You just gotta show up.
You just gotta show up, have your money, and then the world is your oyster. You have the options, not her. He tells women all the time, you don't have the options. They have the options, and you need to accept that they have the options when you're married, and just understand that. And he may not cheat, but just know that he has options to cheat. Now,
she does too, though.
She does too. And but the way that he puts it out there and the way that men receive it is dangerous. Like, why are you telling men that they don't have to try? Women are not going to be submissive. They're not going to want to do things for you if you treat them like shit. They're not going to want to do shit for you if you don't have anything going, like, other than money going for yourself. So what? Women are just supposed to marry a dude because he has money? What about the way he treats her? What about his personality? Does he make her laugh? Like, do they even mesh? Like, what are we talking about here?
We're talking about that kind of old school, man is this, he's up there next to God, and then you're below, all of that. And you need to act like he's the next thing to God. You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, you need to make sure that you're in shape. Who gives a F if he's in shape?
Right.
You need to make sure that you're in shape. You need to make sure that you're friendly and submissive, and you are sexing him down the way he wants to.
Yeah, he said keep his stomach full and his balls empty is what he says. And it's like, okay, yeah, like that's what you do, but okay, let's throw kids into the mix. When you have little kids running around, when do you have time for that shit? Like, it's like, listen, I got these kids, you want to fuck, but there's kids, you know what I'm saying? So it's like sometimes that's not realistic.
If you're a real woman, you have your kids on a solid schedule.
Right.
That's
what he said. That's what he said. Now, I don't want to say a real woman, but I do kind of agree with that point. There are points that he makes that are 1,000% valid. He makes a lot of good points. And
but
for
they're
real,
not end all be all.
They're not end all be all. And a lot of these today women need to hear this. They don't, because they don't understand it. I understand it because I'm a different type of woman, but I'm saying it's not the end all be all. And with kids being on a schedule, like the young lady that he was speaking to and her daughter was all, did you see that one? She was 25. She had a little daughter. Her daughter was wilding in the background. Oh. And he was not feeling that. He was just like, your life is chaos. He was like, you can't even, your daughter runs you. She's crying and you're you know, tending to her every need, and you know he was just telling her life is chaotic. I understand that part because when my son was a baby, he had a bedtime. Like when he was going to bed at 7 o'clock when he was a year old. He would lay down in his crib and he would go to sleep because that's the schedule that I put him on. And every year, not every year, but as he got older, his bedtime would get increased an hour. And I've never had an issue, but I started that so early that even today, like I don't have it. I mean, he's 19 now. There's no bedtime, but you know, all the way through high school, I've never had a problem. I'm like, listen, you know, while you're in high school, you still need to go to sleep. You still need your rest. So your bedtime is midnight. Make sure you sleep, or make sure at least laying down on the bed. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I've never had a problem with that, and I've never had an issue with dating because of that. Because my son listened to me. And I didn't have those issues because I had structure. I'm a structured human being.
She is a structured human being. I mean, I think that sounds good because I'm not a structured human being like that. My kids, listen, I am a night owl, and so I would prefer my kids to be up later than up earlier.
Oh my gosh!
So I am this complete opposite. However, I think he does make some solid points. Like even if him making that point for somebody like myself who am not structured like that, I could agree with that. I could get with that. Mm-hmm. I just think it's like not the end all be all. So yes, it's ideal that you should be in shape. Everybody should be in shape, be healthy, and this, that, and that.
Yeah.
Oh, but the one video that I see that the lady was making a point to say there are women that just will never be skinny. And that's just facts. You know what
It
I'm
is
saying?
facts.
There are a lot of women who carry their weight well and at 200 pounds look good. You know what I'm saying? 210 look good.
See, but you saying that, if you were to say that to him,
like, no.
he would be like, you women piss me off because you coddle each other. And you say you use these terms of endearment like thick and carry her weight well and this and that. He's like, it's fat. And that's how he speaks. I disagree with that because, like you just said, everybody is different. Everybody carries their weight well. You would never know how much somebody weighs unless they told you.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so you could be that weight and people would see you and they would not even remotely think that you were 200.
Not at all.
They would just think, oh, you look good.
And furthermore, there's a lot of dudes who like bigger women. Let's keep it
out.
100.
Just flat out like bigger women.
They cheat on their bomb ass girl with a bitch that you wouldn't even think that was their type. But men like whatever they like. Will they marry them? Some of them will. You know what I'm saying? But Kevin is saying that they will not. And it does kind of.
Well, they won't get a good one. They probably could get married.
They probably,
but
they won't get a high value man. Because a lot of the women that call in for Kevin prove his point. But it's irritating, it's frustrating because the women that call in are not all there. I swear, they be slow or something because how you gonna let somebody really sit there and disrespect you the way that he does? I don't care how many valid points you have. Be respectful. If you say, let's have this conversation.
Right, like they don't be kind of off like, first of all, sir, you can have this conversation, but you gotta be respectful.
No, he's not gonna do that because he's gonna say, you're on my platform and you're gonna answer the questions that I ask you. And if you don't like it, I can bid you a good night. That's what he says. So it's just like with his old ass, like he really be doing the most. I'm conflicted.
You do feel like there are, because he's getting a lot of attention, right? And he's growing. So you do feel like there are a lot of men who are not going to see him and think that maybe this is just for show, for entertainment.
Not at all.
They're going to take this as actual, factual, like, yo, he is repping for us. Yeah, we work at McDonald's, but bruh, you are really speaking that stuff. These women, they don't have respect. They ain't in shape. They ain't polite. None of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna be looking for that. But looking for where? Like, how you gonna be? Cause my whole thing is a high value dude watching his stuff.
Yes, they are. And the thing is, see, he's made it clear what a high value man is, but then it's not clear. He said he made it clear, but I'm still confused as to what he means because when a lot of women are like, I've dated a lot of men with money, he's like, high value doesn't mean money. So what does it mean, Kevin?
But that's what he focuses on
all the time. For example, the same 25-year-old girl with a little daughter, she was in a relationship with a 33-year-old man. And he asked what he did for a living, and she said he owns a t-shirt company. Or a t-shirt shop or whatever. And he clowned the fuck out of that dude. He was just like, oh, that's why, you all ain't going nowhere. You're dating a fucking 33-year-old man who's you know what I mean? And it's like,
this could be bullying.
It could be, like, but she agreed on the low. She was just like, yeah. But she was 25, so it's like, he talks to these young girls, and they don't always be young, because we just saw a 50-year-old who was just all the way
young-minded.
Very young-minded, very embarrassing.
So he talks to youngins.
Yes.
Mentally or,
But a lot of older women had tried to come on there and say, okay, you talk to them young girls like that, let's see how you talk to older women. And he just goes in. Like, it's never a respectful exchange. It's always him choosing violence with every conversation because that is his niche. That's what's getting him the views. That's what's funny and stuff. And I understand it. It's a gimmick. But the fact that these men really don't understand that it's a gimmick is the dangerous part. But
it's a clear gimmick though, because it's kind of like, Yeah, alright. We want to see what your exes look like.
He's not talking about that. And anytime anybody questions it, he's like, we're not talking about me. So he shuts that down instantly. He doesn't even talk about it. His ex was actually supposed to be on somebody else's show, the lady who's been exposing him. She was supposed to do like an interview with her. And apparently, allegedly, he got to her and gave her some hush money and she backed off. So don't nobody know what she looks like. But the claims and the allegations were that he has a 20-year-old daughter that he has not paid child support for in years, and he doesn't have a relationship with her. What's crazy to me is that he came out of nowhere, and people really like follow him the way that they do. And these men, the comments, I be reading the comments, and they just be going so hard. Like, it's like, what did you think before, Kevin? Because I almost promise you that this is not the thought process that you had before this man stepped on the scene. So it's like almost like a brainwash type of situation going on, because there's no way. I have never heard any guy talk like this.
I mean, there are guys that talk like this. Yes, there have been.
Not as many.
Not to the degree, or I don't feel like really on this huge platform to really, to this degree, feel like every conversation I'm going to choose to disrespect you.
Right.
Like, regardless of what you say, what you look like, whatever valid point, I'm disrespecting you
all
every
time.
And if I can't just come off and disrespect you, then I'm asking you a whole bunch of statistical questions that you don't know the answer.
Like,
because you never thought about answering what the average, the daily this or that, because that's going to make you look stupid. That's my way of disrespecting you. If you don't say anything to trigger me to disrespect you, I'm going to start asking you stupid, pointless questions.
Statistics.
So that I can
history lessons
use that
and
as a way to disrespect you.
Yes. He's very good at what he does. I will give him that. He knows how to gaslight a bitch. And that's why you're divorced 3 times. But this ain't about you. It's frustrating because he could be a very helpful tool to women. He could be a guy where women can get real raw advice in a respectful way, but he chooses to be this asshole and be so disrespectful on every single episode because it sells. And so the message is not received as it should be because of the delivery.
And that's why I'm like, there really are guys that are going for this, because he's clearly going this way to make money, right? This is a means of making money, because it's not like he's saying anything thought-provoking. Like, who doesn't know that a man would prefer or would like, a woman to do this, that?
Right.
That's like common sense. You know what I'm saying? So what he is doing is taking common sense that everyone has, and he's just making it entertaining for us. Like, oh my gosh, what is he gonna say to Shorty who gets on there and asks a dumb basic question? He's gonna go in just to say something that everybody really knows. Now, that's why I'm like, wow, is this really guys are really kind of holding on to this? Because in real life, you're dating a bitch that is overweight. Like, on some real stuff, you could have a shorty, he must want a petite woman, because it don't take much for you to be overweight.
It doesn't. Everybody is overweight.
Like 5-10 pounds. You're overweight. I don't care if you have a flat stomach.
But what he does is he makes it seem like it's a majority black women. He said 80% of black women are overweight, and then 70% of that are obese. But he doesn't say all women. He just focuses on the black women. And that's where I'm like, okay, there's a lot of fat white bitches. There's a lot of fat Spanish bitches. Like, everybody needs, like, anybody that eat, like, you're gonna have some weight to you. yeah, white women do get married at a higher rate because look at their husbands 90% of the time. White women's husbands do not be attractive. I'm sorry. They just be some regular.
Don't be giving nothing.
Giving nothing. I can't. I'm sorry. Like, I couldn't be with somebody that I'm not a little, least slightest bit attracted to. It's not going to happen. No,
just
it's not always about
of marriage and
no.
what society or what your people around you tell you you're supposed to do. I think that's why they get married. I don't think it really has anything to do with
love, and that's what Kevin says.
Right.
He says marriage has nothing to do with love. Maybe, but I'm married for love. You know what I mean? I didn't marry for no other reason but love, and so did he. So it's like, that's not everyone. And yeah, if you think like that, then, you know, more power to you, sis. Marry that ugly dude and you know, out of shape dude or weird dude for security. I personally, the marriage wouldn't work because how you gonna get like turned on to that? Like, how you gonna be sexual? How you gonna empty his balls, as you say?
Yeah, you're gonna make that thing pop. You say he providing you a home. He's taking care of your kids. You know, your kids are gonna be well off. And I think that may be the difference between black people and a lot of other cultures. I think a lot of other people are brought up to plan ahead for the future, so it's not really about them.
Right.
It's about your kids, the generations and generations after that.
Right.
Whereas black people, we've been kind of programmed and put in a space where we gotta worry about us right now in this moment, living here now. So we don't make decisions, and that's, I mean, not to say we're obviously we're moving in the direction of making these decisions, but I think that's why you don't have the finances. I think that's why you will have the overeating and all the things, because it's like we're living in the now. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right.
You know, a year, 2 years, 10 years from now. Right now, I got some money. I'm about to feast. Right now, I want some D. This man, right? You know what I'm saying? We're not thinking about ahead like other cultures do, and so that's why you will have women that will settle for stuff like that, and it has nothing to do with love. It has to do with, okay, I want to be in a position to where my future kids, I didn't even have them kids.
Right.
But my future kids are going to be set up, and their future kids are going to be set up. You know what I'm saying?
I would be dry as the Sahara Desert. I cannot perform if I'm not attracted to you. Period. It's just not going to happen. But I do want to make this point before we go, because believe it or not, we're almost out of time. The only issue, not the only issue, but one of the issues that I have with his points is that this whole danger zone thing. Okay, you're older or whatever. I didn't get married until I was 30, you know, in my 30s. So, I'm still in my 30s. You just figure it out. But, you know, I got married later in life. So, it's like he's making it seem like we have the choice when we get married. The men are the one who choose the wife. So how is it up to us to marry before the danger zone? Like, yeah, you can look for a husband all you want to, but if that man don't want to marry you, he ain't gonna marry you. Period.
No, that's
so it's like, what are you talking about?
My auntie got married in her 50s.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's gonna happen when it happens for you.
Right. If it's meant to be, it's going to be.
Right.
And honestly, not even outside of that, I feel like if that's a priority for you, then you're gonna get it regardless of whatever. You're gonna get
it however. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of lames out there who's willing to put a ring on it, especially if he's balling, and you're gonna take it if you're willing to do what it takes to be married and secure.
And that's important to you. Yeah.
That's different. And I think that's maybe what he's talking about. Just marry. Just get married. It doesn't matter if you're attracted to him. You don't have to be in love. It's a partnership.
And so that's where I kind of say it's a tricky thing, because honestly, I feel like if that is a real serious like priority for somebody, they're going to get married for the sake of just saying I'm getting married. Like it doesn't matter what they look like, what they make, where they work, whatever. If that's a real priority for you, you're going to attract that in your life, like somehow, some type of way.
Right.
Whether it's a lane, whether it's a ball, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to attract that. And there are a lot of women that we see that are married to men that are making millions a year, and they got kids. They not. They be talking back. They be on their social media talking their stuff like disrespectful, and them men still be coming back. And if it don't work out with them, then they're gonna get another high profile nigga.
Exactly.
Like it's like you're selling something that really isn't real in today's society, and that's why I don't understand that there are really dudes that
they're
are like,
really taking it for face value, end all be all type of thing. Well, we want to keep an eye on him because he only gets worse. Week by week, he just gets more disrespectful.
But he is very entertaining.
He is very entertaining, and I think that's the goal. So for all of you guys who really like look at him and be like, "Word, this is the dude. We needed you." Just keep in mind, do a Google search of what Kevin Samuels used to be, and see if you can find any of the accolades that he's been talking about. And then reevaluate, because it's a gimmick. At the end of the day, he's here to make money, and y'all are helping him do that. So just in your dating life, don't take what he says so seriously, and really do what you do from your heart. And that is our show. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Hey y'all, it's your girl Vee
and your girl April Love,
and we are your hosts of Love Unlocked Talk.
If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like, and comment below. And let us know what you want us to discuss for future episodes.
Also, please follow us on Instagram at Love Unlocked LLC for updates.